welcome everybody to another episode of the Established 1982 podcast, the Geek Coach podcast hosted by responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV ever since 1982. I'm your boy Wally Analog, and of course I'm joined by my homie, the gatekeeper of civility and order. It is Rowls Royce. Yes, sir. Today we are going to talk about a movie today. A movie.
Yeah.
A movie. Dune. Sci-fi. Based on a would you say legendary book? Legendary piece of literature? Is that hyperbole?
I guess so.
I think those that have delved into it and enthusiasts of the
would
Dune probably say
it's sci-fi classic.
Yeah. I guess that's a better word. Classic. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And there have been renditions of this book in cinematic form prior to this one. Mm-hmm. The 84 joint, right? With Sting in it.
Correct.
I did not go see that back in the day.
No.
I was a youngster.
Right.
I think it was 11. I was 11 years old.
Right.
In 84. I didn't see that.
It just didn't appeal.
It didn't appeal to me either.
They were saying, well, there's these sandworms, and then I saw a scene where he put his hand through the box, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Give me a lightsaber.
Right. And see the interesting thing was,
right, ironically,
I was given an education.
Yes.
That Star Wars was heavily, if not 100% influenced by this book.
Photocopied.
Man, and after watching
Changed
the movie,
a couple of words.
I think somebody need to get their money.
Frank Herbert.
I feel like there might be some copyright infringement.
The views.
I don't know, man, because just watching the movie, a lot of the themes.
Right.
I mean, even down to the planet, it just felt like Tatooine a little bit, with all the sand and But let's just get into it. We'll discuss the similarities, the not so discrete similarities between the two. So this movie, directed by I'm trying to get this man's name right. I purposely went out to find a video where the director introduced himself. Denis Villeneuve is how he said his name.
Villeneuve.
I hope that's right.
Yes,
I butchered
it's close.
it. Okay, it's as good as it's going to get.
Right.
So we had talked on a podcast about a month or so ago, and we had our homie and friend, the Cerebral Ninja, discussing his anticipation for this movie because he was one that actually read literature,
right,
and was hoping that it would A, do it justice, and B, do numbers in the theater as to bring the second one to the screen,
right? Because
there was some issue that he was concerned, as were many other Dune fans, that by splitting it between television and theater, you're gonna take money away, and
right,
and so the ninja was concerned about that, and Denny was concerned. The director was concerned about that, and apparently had voiced his displeasure to a certain degree with that decision by HBO Max. But just fast forward, they've already done the green light on the second one.
Well, I think
so.
I think
that's good news.
I think because of his discomfort with that, which I can understand.
Right, man. You
Christopher Nolan. It's interesting. Christopher Nolan and Denis were the ones that were like,
and they're both mutual admirers of one another's work. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Christopher Nolan, it was a little weird, and he might have been victim to timing because it was like the pandemic was just getting started.
Yeah,
and he was pushing for people to go to the theater, and it's like,
no vaccine.
Maybe you need to just cancel
because there was no vaccine at that point, right?
Maybe we don't need Tenet right now.
No,
right?
No. And after I watched it, I don't know if I needed it
Right.
post or pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
we
did enough thinking about the
pandemic,
pandemic.
bro. Yeah,
what is COVID?
man, it was just too unclear. But
Right.
that's another story.
Yes, but I was saying all that to say that, Denis had discomfort about that, and rightly so. Part 2 was banking on the success of part 1.
Exactly.
So, and the way Warner Brothers rolled it out, or HBO Max, the directors didn't know that they were doing this plan where they're like, "Hey, all the movies gonna be on TV."
Yeah, but they announced that like last year. Like, guess what, y'all?
But that's what I'm saying. The directors, when
You
they
saying even
announced
before
it,
that,
they were
they
like,
didn't know.
"What the heck is going on?" Like, no, my movie was supposed to be in the theaters.
Yeah.
My contract says
Yeah.
A, B, and C.
Yeah, it seems like that would have been a conversation that they would have had. That seems odd. But I guess if you holding all the cards, I'm sure it was written up somewhere that you can't stop us from doing what we gonna do.
Look at Disney and Scarlett Johansson right now.
Yeah, they don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that to open up a thing about Disney, but like the pandemic showed a lot. In terms of how the industry operates. So,
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you're a director and you're doing the movie to be viewed in the theater.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, no.
Yeah, put it in the house.
Yeah, HBO Max, you're not going to get, this popcorn money.
And
this drink money.
never mind. And Denny was like, man, look at how I'm shooting this thing, man.
Correct.
And that is one of the driving forces behind this movie.
Yeah.
The way this thing is
Same with Christopher
shot.
Nolan in all fairness.
Yes. And so.
They're shooting in IMAX.
Oh my God, like 70-something% of it.
Right.
So, okay. I saw the movie at home because I'm still a little apprehensive about a theater.
Right.
Especially for a movie that I felt looked like it was relatively highly anticipated, I guess, by those that are sci-fi fans.
Correct.
Too much for me to risk, rubbing shoulders with a lot of people. So I watched it at home. I believe you saw it in IMAX?
No.
Oh, you did it at home also.
Right.
Okay,
I
but we
watched it
have
at
some
home.
friends that saw it in a theater.
Yes. Hattori saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
Mr. Nutt saw it
Mr.
in the
Nutt
theater.
saw it in the theater. He don't care about COVID. He don't care.
He wears a mask. He's safe, y'all.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yeah.
But Mr. Nutt goes when everybody's asleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
His hours are strange. He's a vampire. So
Right. Daywalker.
Yeah, that's right. But yes, the movie, it is. Let's get into the particulars of the movie itself, because the interesting take here is that, and we mentioned it before, enthusiasts of this movie are those most likely who read the book.
Or familiar with the source material.
Yeah, to some degree.
Either they watched the other movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You and I.
And there was a TV show. There was a Dune TV series on Sci-Fi too.
Yeah.
But
But you and I, none. No knowledge, no
Zero.
prior knowledge, zero. And we went in blank slate.
Right.
Right? Prove this to me. Impress me with having no prior knowledge of this.
Correct.
Of this source material.
Right.
And the reviews that I saw, negative ones, seem to come primarily from those similar to us. No prior knowledge of the source material, no connection to the character. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't like it.
Right.
Because
there's not a lot of exposition at the beginning. They just dive right into it, like they assume that you already know what's going on. But I will say that they did a good job of setting up the world in the beginning.
Yes.
This is about spice.
Yes.
This is about
This is correct.
The Harkonnens and the Atreides.
That's correct. Yeah. And so
did a good, excellent
that's
job.
What I was going to say.
Without
you don't
laboring
need
the point.
Yeah, you don't need, and that's the point I was going to make.
Right.
You don't need to know anything about it.
Right.
The screenplay was done in such a way that I didn't miss anything by not having read one single word of the source material. Now, what I've learned recently is the director, Denny, he read the book. He said he was 14 when he read that. But so this dude was a fan.
Yeah, it's a passion project for him.
He would he said at times in the middle of shooting, just to make sure he gets something right, he would call the author because he respected the man's material so much that he would stop. He and Hans Zimmer would like talk to this dude to make sure. Yes, dude, that is the level of dedication. Respect for the source material. How often do we talk about the wild flailing departures that people seem to go on when it comes to sci-fi, comic book, whatever movie you're trying to adapt from, whatever the source material is, how they just decide to just make it their own and do weird stuff. Now, I don't mind a redefinition.
Have Nicolas Cage in a neon Superman suit. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm glad that didn't make it.
Man, what?
I'm glad that didn't make it. But that's what I'm talking about. So he respected it so much because he loved it as a kid.
Right.
So he's trying to do it justice. And in my mind, the story was phenomenal. I love this movie. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, I loved this movie, and again, going back to some of the complaints that I read, like on like Reddit threads or on Twitter or whatever, message boards and stuff. It seemed as if the primary complaint was slow, and I'm thinking, where is it? Did you don't like dialogue? Is that what it is? And I hate to keep going back and beating the dead horse of action v story again, as we so often do. But I think very many of us want to hit the seat in the theater and immediately put the gas pedal all the way to the floor for action, where I think this movie, based on what you were saying earlier, needed the proper setup to understand what's going on.
Yes.
So that when you got to the action, it wasn't action for action's sake. It's like you understand what's going on. I mean, what did you, as an avid action movie fan,
right?
What were your thoughts about the setup? Because in my mind, it was similar. And forgive me for comparing the two, but what was the Phantom Menace? That was setting up the whole creating beginnings of the empire and all that type of stuff and the political stuff. So it was kind of along those lines, right? We're setting up the environment, the political environment, the social environment. Everything was laid out similarly. So what were your did that bother you? Did you not like that? Did you feel like it was too slow? And if so, did you feel like it was warranted when it finally got down to the meat and potatoes of it all?
To take a step back, one thing that I noticed about myself in movie watching, and this is separate from Dune, I have to be in the mood to watch a movie. And what I mean by that is, I guess step one, I should have watched Dune in the theater. I should have made that determination. Hey, this is Denis Villeneuve. I need to watch this in the theater. When I watch it at home, I have a tendency personally to relax and maybe have the laptop in front of me. Oh, well, let me check some emails. Let me watch the movie. So I was doing that the first go around. Now, I had no connection, no vested interest in Dune. Mm-hmm. There might have been a little cynicism there based on when I was young. It's like sandworms.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What space, Darth Vader. Like you know what I'm saying? I have Star Wars brain. So which is ironic.
Yeah.
But,
very.
So the first time I watched it, I was like, this is cool. I don't know if I'll watch this again, but it was cool. Like, I wasn't hating on it.
Right.
And then when I started thinking about it, I was like, okay, no, I need to watch it, like, no laptop, nothing. Mm-hmm. I watched it a second time. And again, I should have had the foresight and a lot of it is just timing. I should have had the foresight to go, just take your butt to the theater and watch, put a mask on, and watch it in the theater. But I didn't. But I watched it at home. My second viewing, I really appreciate everything that was done in this movie. The movie was paced. I can understand why people would think it's slow, but I think it was paced in a good way.
Yeah, I think it was appropriately paced.
Right.
Considering that this is just the first chapter of
correct
multiple.
Right.
Right? And you don't want to just lay all your cards out on, you know what I mean? Like you gotta, like that next one might be what everybody is probably expecting in the first one.
Some of the themes that stuck out to me, and let me bounce this to you as well. I'm, and this is me ignorant of how the book was written, but when I'm watching Dune, I'm sitting there going, man, either Frank Herbert was just writing about colonialism, where people just come in and just there's a resource.
Yeah,
oh, well,
we're coming to get it.
Africa.
We're coming to get it.
We're coming to get it.
We're coming to get it.
And
it's understood. Like we're coming to get it.
Right. So the Harkonnens, and that they when they broke down the different, I guess you would call them are they political parties, or they're just
they're almost like families. The way they would refer to it, they did kind of like what they do on like they did on Game of Thrones, the House of this kind of thing.
Targaryen. Yeah.
It almost felt like organized crime.
Right. But it was almost like races. Like the Harkonnen was a race,
absolutely.
And the Atreides is a race.
Absolutely.
What I found interesting was it was pretty much setting an example about colonialism and how these families come in and go, yeah, we're taking this over, and and their approaches to it.
Yeah.
The Harkonnens were brutal.
Oh my God.
And they were like, well, whatever, like
and then the Atreides,
we don't care about the Fremen. Like, we will walk over the Fremen.
We don't care.
Right. Now, the House Atreides, they were more gentle in their approach, but they
were devious,
right?
And they used like religion to a degree to they would proselytize to them and make themselves look like saviors, right? And then you need us,
right?
You see what I'm saying? So while it wasn't brutal, they
psychological.
Yes, it was a mental abuse more so than the physical.
Interesting.
So you don't know what's worse. I mean, people will talk about, and then when they talk about violence in general, domestic particularly, like what's worse, domestic, physical abuse or mental.
Right.
Mental has longer lasting scars, right?
Correct.
You might be able to heal from a physical physically abusive person,
right?
Where once someone has your mind, bruh, it's done,
right? And
you could see it. They worship these people, man. They worship them. They were the ones because we have the one, I guess the Ben Gesserit chosen one or whatever, which the Ben Gesserit is and we got to talk about that.
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing.
Let me ask you this, and
awesome.
that was a part I missed about the religion part, and I don't know if I glazed over it.
Right.
So were they using the Ben Gesserit
essentially, but yes,
to integrate with the Fremen?
Well, see, they would send them down because they are very influential. See, they had this agreement with the Ben Gesserit, and so they would go down. Remember, they said we've already prepped the people. Right? When they mentioned it, they had been down there laying the groundwork, proselytizing, softening up their minds and convincing them that you need this. This is not what the Harkonnen, a bad Harkonnen. No, we're good. We're here for you. And we are here to save you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And they're using mind control. I mean, that's brutal.
Right.
It's almost like the breaking of slaves.
Right.
That they did.
Well, that's what rang out to me, is how close it is to, because kind of what we're going through today, and some of the
and they
things.
always have been.
Right.
This is not like let's take for
And
example.
this was written in 1965, so I mean, at the height of.
But I mean, just the little things, right? Like I had mentioned to you once before, one of the things that stuck out to me that was so. Like a lot of people, if you're not paying attention, well, I'll say if you're not a person of color, you may or may not have missed this. But what stood out to me was when Paul, this guy's right there, isn't that his name?
Yeah, the main character.
Paul,
yes, Paul.
He's constantly studying the Fremen in preparation for this occupation, right?
Right.
And one of the lessons he's watching the Fremen or the narrator talking about, or this, I guess the little instructor or whatever, the person that's is talking about how the Fremen do, what is that sand walk or whatever it is,
to not disturb the sand.
Right. So essentially, they would move in such a way that mimicked how the sand sounds. Sweeping across the land.
when the wind is
right.
blowing
So
across the sand,
if they're doing the same thing, it doesn't sound different,
right?
Because they can pick up on
rhythmic,
right?
So if you're stepping in the sand, it's like boom,
and it's like
boom.
This is somebody's up there. It's time to get it.
Yeah.
But if you're not, it doesn't alarm them. So, I mean, it was so akin to any oppressed people having to change their behavior, move a certain way, walk a certain way, talk a certain way in order to survive their oppressors or their oppressive landscape or their environment. And that we are no stranger to that. Right? Like from the time when slaves had to do it.
Right.
They had to act stupid. They had to act as if they weren't smart, couldn't speak.
Right.
All that slave speak and stuff that
Dialect.
you saw.
Right.
Yeah.
It was code.
That was just them trying to appease the slave owner.
But there was also code as well.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. A lot of them would be learning to read on the low.
Right.
Which was forbidden. But you had to act like you couldn't read.
Right.
These were survival tactics.
Or sing songs, and they're literally telling what their game plan is.
That's correct.
Right.
They're moving in a different way.
Right.
As to look as if we're going with the flow, and to not agitate the ground, the sands. And, you know what I'm saying? That was huge. Now I don't know if that was intended. I'm sure it probably wasn't the intent, but who knows? I mean, I don't know what message that they're trying to send, but that's what resonated with me. And that's what happens when you're an oppressed people. And so you felt the Fremen, and you felt what they were going through, and you understood the level of their strength. The Fremen, they're dope, bruh. Like,
but even down to the visual of diversity, it seemed like the Fremen were the darker,
much more. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, like.
Yeah.
And I needed to read the book, but like even looking at Wikipedia, I'm not sure if Frank Herbert was insistent on showing like, okay, well, this is some white supremacy or colonialism that's happening.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it rung out to me, watching it. I was
because the casting was done in such a way that it wanted to depict that.
Right.
It was masterfully done.
Correct.
Yeah. And this, like, again, this is coming from two dudes that have not read one word of this book and of the literature, and appreciated every frame from start to finish. I could not stop watching this movie. Like, and I was at the house. I understand the situation you were describing about having outside distractions and stuff.
When you're at home, you're more comfortable.
But bro, I shut everything down.
Yeah,
because they weren't. Nobody was there at the time.
Right.
And so I kind of blocked off my time. I couldn't stop looking at it, man. It was ridiculous. I couldn't stop. And I was just I don't know, for lack of a better term, aghast at the negative reaction to see that people were. I'm like, what movie were you watching? This is one of the best.
Interesting.
aghast. What's so interesting about that? Wait a minute. Please share.
Well, when you don't like something, and we all do, it's like I'm not aghast, but I'm just kind of like, okay, well, why did he cut off John Wick in the middle of the movie? Okay, all right, but okay, we'll keep it moving. Yeah. Anyway,
but I would at least tell you why I cut off John Wick.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, in
most
terms
of what I heard was
in terms of, I think it's just the rhythm of movies that have been coming out. I mean, we just need whiz bang boom now. Mm-hmm. Like even Michael Bay movies, like it takes me a minute to, like I can't watch them anymore because it's so much. It's too thick. It's too much action, which
it's like a whole lot of sugar.
Right. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you got to throw some story in there somewhere. Like, This is too much. Like, it's too many.
Fight.
Yeah, it's too many car chases, too many. There's another one coming out on Netflix, like Ambulance or 911 or something like that. Oh, my. And it has, I know I'm derailing, but anyway, I was just trying to make the point that I think we've just been conditioned in America as moviegoers to just watch the Marvel stuff, the DC stuff, the action stuff. And again, I understand. It's an escape. You know, I don't want to go to a movie and just be bored to death. Like, I don't want to, I don't want to, you know, some of this might have had some, I don't want to say it's, I don't want to make this comparison, but like, you know, when he's having the dreams about her and stuff like that. Now, the dreams were like, okay, what's happening here?
Right. And they've still not elaborated on that.
Right.
And that's another thing that
I like that device too.
Yes. Because you need to keep people's interest. Because the cast, you know, the players in the movie, they're moving and behaving like all this is common knowledge. And the only one that's not let in on is not given, you know, they're not privy to this same knowledge is the viewer.
Right.
But if you're patient enough, all that's by design, if done properly, will be revealed. They shouldn't leave you in the dark as to how that works. You just got to go along for the ride.
Yes.
And so I don't mind that. And those are some of the other complaints too. They didn't explain this. They didn't. Well, you know what I'm saying. This
they don't have to give you an explanation right now.
And not right now. Not right now.
Right.
Just make sure you stream it enough or go see it so that you can get part 2 and 3 or however many. I don't even know how many.
It goes back to. I keep making this example, and it always irritates me. If somebody explains what an EMP is one more time, I'm going to lose it. Like every time somebody says EMP, what do you mean? Electric magnetic pulse? You know, it's like, dude, how many times have we heard EMP?
Yeah,
that's your
pet peeve.
Yeah, look, your iPhone is going to die if this EMP pulse, like everything electrical dies. Everything goes dark. You've seen that 1,000 times. Stop. Don't be the guy that's like message, you know, like, and I think I really do think American movies have that in there where it's like we have to dumb it down for everybody.
That is correct.
And it's like,
but you know what, man? They almost teach you that in like English class, right? Like they'll tell you, you know, if you're writing something, never assume that everybody knows everything. So it's kind of like a rule to a certain degree, but I don't think that, like you're saying, I don't think that it necessarily applies to storytelling. And
no,
I don't. There are some things that you can just leave up and kind of explore later. Like I don't need the whole, like you said, the rundown and, you know, don't break out the textbook.
Right.
You know, because now we're doing something completely. You're taking all this time.
And some things can just be nuanced where maybe as a viewer, like we have, somebody else might have a different experience watching the movie. Like we watch and we're like, yeah, that feels like white privilege. That feels like, and it's not like we're trying to be woke or anything.
Right, no.
It's just kind of like, it
resonates and we understand.
We understand, like, okay, this is a ruling party. They're coming in and they're using these tactics.
Right. Seen that before.
Right. And they're underestimating the people that have lived here.
Right.
All of their lives haven't adapted. Their eyes are blue because the spice has.
Right.
It's a psychoactive.
And you got like a real quick glimpse at the end of how dope that they are with that last scene.
Right.
Like, oh, they doing that?
Right.
Like what? And then it goes off and it's like you can't wait to see.
Right.
You know, to what? Because the whole time you're led to believe that these people are just hiding, and but Jason Momoa's character kind of gave you a glimpse into how dope they are when he came back and said, "Look, man, these people."
Yeah, the technology.
You don't want to. You don't want it with these people.
Right. They got gadgets
and they can fight. You don't want it with these people.
Right. Right.
You don't.
Yeah. He said, I almost lost my life. And he's the dopest of them all.
Right. I mean,
like, they were waiting for him to get home, like, hey, like,
right.
We need our hero. Yeah.
So, you know, that's what will make the second one that much more compelling, because we'll hopefully get to delve more into their culture, and you know, they're surviving underground. Like, they're like, which is interesting, and they kind of foreshadow, like, they riding sandworms, bro. Like, you know, like, and so in order for you to live underground, you have to be unafraid of those things, man. Like,
now, the one thing I did find interesting is when he had a dream that I forgot the guy, Jamis.
Yeah.
When he fought Jamis.
Yeah.
He had a dream that Jamis was teaching him how to ride the sandworm.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, no, this is how you, like, he was showing the hooks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, he killed him.
Yeah, so, that is interesting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then there was a vision of Duncan, Idaho just chilling with them. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? Because he's dead.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting too.
And you know what? We'll probably get some type of understanding, hopefully,
because it looks like he was like integrated with the Fremen, like which was interesting. The other piece of tension was I love the relationship between Leto and Paul, like, you know, the father-son relationship. I thought that was a really cool moment where Paul's like, I don't know if I want the throne. And
he wasn't messed up about it either. Yeah. His dad was, you know, usually in these movies, it's like, no, you are the bloodline and you're going to do, you know what I'm saying? But he was just like a family first kind of dude. It's like they wanted you to like them, but they were still despicable people.
Yeah, because he was like desert power. Like he was really like, I was like, man, calm down. Man. I like you, man. You're cool.
Yeah, right. It's like,
cool, right?
You could slow down on that desert power.
Yeah, because he seemed to be a really likable leader.
Right.
But then when you really sit
when
there
it got down, it is power of everything.
Right. But there was also tension because the Harkonnen set it up. And I'm assuming is he the Emperor? The Vladimir Harkonnen?
I don't know if he's.
He must be over.
I don't think he's the Emperor because
he's a Okay,
right.
So he's a Harkonnen.
They would always reference. I don't think we ever saw the Emperor.
Right.
We never saw him.
Right.
But that dude was about his work. About that work though. That guy.
Right. So that Harkonnen was like, he was saying, well, the Emperor is jealous and he don't like the Atreides, so he's setting up the situation where we're out. Yeah. We still gonna get our money, but the Atreides, he's trying to set them up to fail.
Yeah.
And it's just that tension where it's like, okay, I mean, they're coming down to take over the Fremen and Arrakis.
Yeah.
And you can see where they're getting like set up, and it's like you want to it's not like you're cheering for them, but it's kind of like you're like,
who's the least bad?
Right. Yeah, and it's a real like the only people you can root for is the Fremen.
That's it.
That's it. So it's
no matter who you start liking, you know what I'm saying? Like, neither side is good.
Right. And even Paul, like he's
conflicted.
Right.
And you can tell it's about to get real bad because once he kind of saw his future and understood where he was going, he was like, oh man, this is not going to go well with the fam, at all.
Right. I'd be remiss that we don't talk about the similarities between Star Wars, like Dune and Star Wars.
I guess we could start with the Ben Gesserit.
Yes.
Because that whole deal with these aren't the droids you're looking for, you know, talking and controlling people.
Compelling, yes.
Yes. But that's the only Like the Force is doing a lot of different other stuff in Star Wars, right? They
Correct.
moving stuff and levitating stuff and pushing stuff and
Right.
choking people and
Right.
and doing all this stuff, where it is all about subliminal control through the use of voice,
Right.
And that's what it was called. The
Right.
voice is
The
like,
voice.
and then he talked about how he wanted that conveyed on camera.
Right.
Like the scene in particular. And this is why I like movies like this. Some of the best scenes in these sci-fi movies are when two people are interacting,
Right.
and having dialogue in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the end of the second Matrix with the
Right.
with the architect and Neo.
Yes.
Similar to that was the interaction between Paul and what was it, the Reverend Mother, or what was her name? The head of the Ben Gesserit, the mother,
Gaius
whatever.
Helen.
Yeah, the head of the Ben Gesserit, that lady. The
I
head
think it's
of the,
Gaius.
Yeah.
I think
so
her name was Gaius Helen. Helen or something like that.
so that whole interaction
Excuse me
between
off, I butchered that. So,
the interaction between her and Paul was phenomenal, right? Like his mom.
is it Ben Jesuit, right?
Right, and could be very well sending her son to his death.
Correct.
Because she's gone against protocol.
Right.
These are supposed to be daughters only. Like you're supposed to have daughters, and then if you have someone who's, I guess, a candidate, for lack of a better term, for the Ben Gesserit, they got to be female, apparently.
Correct.
And we've not had that explained either. But that was the dynamic that was established. That Paul is an anomaly. That Paul has this ability, and his mom is teaching this dude this ability, and then sending him into the room with this woman who determines whether or not you're worthy to even continue.
Well, that was interesting too, because when you watch the Atreides, the whole ceremony, it seemed as if, because it seemed like the women were covered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, we ain't trying to show the women right now. They're here, but they're kind of, if I'm not mistaken, like when it just seemed that way. So it had those echoes of like, like the shrouds and the, that kind of deal. And then I find it interesting that the Ben Gesserit is, it's a powerful female driven force,
right?
It's like, so that even that is interesting as well. So, but yeah,
he shot that scene in such a way, like he explained how when she used the voice to tell him to, come here, or whatever she said, and kneel,
right?
He said,
"How dare you talk to me like this?"
Yeah. First,
well,
the fact that he had the audacity is like, "Oh, you gonna tell mom this in her own crib and blah blah blah." She was like, "Man, I ain't trying to hear that. Do you know?" and so then he was like, "I dim the lights. If you watch,
right."
I dimmed the lights, and it looked like dude went into like a quick coma for a minute, and then just kind of just woke up.
Right, and he's right in
front of him.
Right.
Because he didn't want him to. He said he didn't want him to look like he was just floating across the room like a zombie. There needed to be an abruptness and an understanding
that your body,
you've lost it all.
Yeah,
like you're not. You have no control.
Right.
And he wanted to convey that.
Right.
And
it was excellent.
It was And then the whole hand in the box kind of deal with the needle at his neck. It just those are the scenes right there that make it for me. In a lot of movies, because a lot of times it doesn't even have to be a lot of explosion. It's like human reaction to certain things. Like he's got to deal with, because she said what did she say? A trapped animal will gnaw off his own arm or leg to get out of a trap or whatever. What are you gonna do?
Right.
Put your hand in here. I want to see if you're even worthy enough to deal with the kind of pain that you're gonna have to go through.
Right.
And and his mom sent him in there, dude. Like knowing that he may not make it.
Right.
Based on some of the things that I've already highlighted. Like he's not a woman, and she has pretty much broken protocol by teaching this guy.
Right.
So, but there's that level of loyalty to this I guess organization, for lack of a better term. And her son, like, what I'm saying? The conflict was there because she couldn't even really show affection. She couldn't really look him in the face when she sent him in there. She was just so you can see the conflict, right? Like he was just like, ugh, I want him to be this, but man, he may not come out of this room.
Right.
And it'll be my fault.
Right.
You know, but at the same time, I feel like he has what we need. There's so much that story by itself. And I wonder if they're gonna talk about that at all in that series, the Sisterhood or something. That they're gonna release. Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Yeah. And it's gonna be Ben Gesserit based.
Okay.
So we might get a look into that. They started casting it and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm really interested in seeing if they're going to delve into that. And, you know, for people who want an understanding, because I don't know if there's any, there might be some literature already out there on that, but I would like to see the live action one too. But those are the things I appreciate. There was so much to appreciate about this movie. Yeah, I it was a strong 9 for me. Yeah. It's hard, and I don't know why. I'm not as quick to give anything a 10, so I'll just say 9. But I loved the movie.
Right.
You know, I could watch it repeatedly. And I don't watch a lot of movies over and over again, but I could definitely look at this one. Because you feel like you'll get something new out of it every time you watch it that you may have missed as far as themes and stuff.
Right.
I've had some people tell me that have read the book. There were little things that were conveyed in 2 and 3 second snippets that the book took pages to
correct. Right.
There's like a glossary because there's book. There's the imagery, you know, the cliche picture is 1,000 words, right? The imagery can do much more, you know, in such a short period of time. Whereas if you're an author, man, you have to paint the picture,
right?
You know, with your words,
right?
And so that's going to take a lot more. Yeah. And I've heard that you know, those instances were expertly done in the movie, and I'm thinking, man, it's like I kind of want to read the book to see,
right?
You know how well they captured the stuff visually.
Yeah, but even like the spice, like I mean, even in Star Wars, they talk about spice runs.
They stole the name of the drug. Like, how did you get away with that?
And then how did they get away with that? It looks almost like the X-wing the way they operate.
Those were cool,
right?
Primitive but futuristic,
right?
Because computers were not a thing. AI was outlawed.
Right. Because and all of that, there was some issue back in history where they're like, we can't do AI.
So it's like, and then he said that. He's like, that scene I was just talking about with him, with the Bene Gesserit lady and Paul, he wanted it in a library.
Right.
Because that is the epitome of like the old way.
Right.
You got hard literature. Right. Physical literature, not computer, none of that. And it was that circular room. Dope.
Yes.
Just loved it.
Right.
But you don't really understand, but it's like he's trying to capture the I guess the culture and the whole, you know, vibe of that era. It's great, man.
Yeah, there was like little moments where the older guy that was in Devs.
Yeah, Stewart from Devs.
Yeah, when he's doing the computations, his eyes flip.
Yes.
And it's like an enhancement. It's not, he's not, I thought he was an android at first or something.
No, it's like and that was the scene, ironically, interesting, that I was told took pages to go to help you understand what's going on.
Right.
And I'm just like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
You knew what he was doing. And you didn't have to have no look. What's he doing? Well, he's blah blah blah. No, didn't have to do all that. Right. We kind of surmised that. I know what he's doing. It's dope. I don't know how he's doing it. Maybe they'll explore later.
Right. But I appreciated it. It just left me wondering, like, is he an android?
What is he doing? Like, what is that?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it left that wonder there instead of somebody going, well, see, he has this thing behind his ear, and then it pops up the eyes.
Exactly. And a typical American movie would have done that, right? That would have been your EMP for the day.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I appreciate the resistance to not, like, add extra stuff in there. So, yeah, man, I give it a 9. I mean, I'm in. Like, I would love to see the story.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, is it 3 parts or 2 parts?
I don't know. I thought it was, I don't know. Man, I sure hope it's 3. I mean, how do you do 2? Most sagas are 3. most good ones, right? You give us 3.
Right.
As
I mean,
the way
this is
of
a
Star
level
Wars.
of like, The Hobbit or
Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. You got to give me 3.
Which ironically, I would think people would have thought that was slow too, but
interesting.
Right. But now,
but I believe a lot more people read The Hobbit and stuff like that because true. When you were in school, they had you read The Hobbit.
Right.
So there's probably more people connected to Tolkien stuff.
Right.
Than Dune.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, excellent movie. And, I mean, he's a good filmmaker.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't in love with the latest Blade Runner, but I appreciate the effort.
Right.
And you could see like this dude really loves the craft.
Right.
For sure.
Right.
And then we're gonna talk about Sicario at some point.
Yeah.
Might be on our
that's for the exclusive.
Yeah.
That's for the exclusive because anything that dude does now, I feel like it's appointment viewing now. I got to see because I'm intrigued by the way Arrival was excellent.
Right.
I literally went back and watched that and Sicario because of that dude.
Right.
And Arrival was great.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a heady movie for sure.
It definitely is.
But I appreciate that. Not so much that you're lost.
Blade Runner kind of is too.
Yeah.
I might need to watch Blade Runner again.
I think it's a very long movie.
It is. And it was one of those movies where this is not a review on Blade Runner, but I think it was one of those movies where I was like, maybe I wasn't invested in Blade Runner like I thought I was.
Right.
So, I'm invested in this Dune. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, give us your thoughts, man. What you thought of the Dune? Was it slow? Was it paced properly? Did you feel, if you read the book, did you feel that it did it justice? If you didn't read the book, do you feel like it did enough to where you felt as if you didn't miss anything?
Right.
Or you didn't need anything, or I didn't feel like I had to go run into Google anything after that.
Right.
I didn't.
No, I didn't.
I went back and Googled that director. What else he do? What else? I got to see, but other than, trying to understand the movie, I got everything I needed out of that screenplay.
Right.
So, just let us know. Be on the lookout for the exclusive on this Sicario.
Yes.
Yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah. Patreon.
Yes.
.com/EST1982 podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you to all the patrons that have supported us.
5 years later will be 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but thank you for your support out there. You can view the podcast out there. Listen to the podcast out there. You can go to EST1982podcast.com website, or just anywhere where you get your podcast, man. Just about, we're everywhere. Hit us up on that Facebook group and Instagram, EST1982 podcast, to share your thoughts on Dune. Strong 9, 2 9s as we sit here. So let us know what you think. Until next time, people, we'll holler at you.
Peace.